Well, turning now to the unrest that continues to sweep across the United States. The often violent protests were triggered by the death of a black man while in police custody in Minnesota. Now, video of that arrest of George Floyd and him telling officers he could not breathe has sparked anger from coast to coast in the U.S. Zae Sellers has been protesting in Minneapolis, her home city, handing out packs with water and masks. She joins us right now. Zae, thank you for joining the program today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And we should point out, you're no stranger to Toronto because Toronto is where you go to school, but you actually ended up going back home because of COVID-19. And then this horrific arrest and the killing of George Floyd. Talk to us about your reaction when you saw that piece of tape and what went down in Minneapolis earlier this week.
Well, first, let me just say I wasn't able to get through the entire video because that is a very that's a very tragic moment, and it's very sad. It's heartbreaking, honestly. But the first 10 seconds, just watching somebody kneel on somebody's neck as they say they can't breathe is it's really heartbreaking. And I think that is what a lot of people are upset about. To watch somebody beg for their life on TV, that's a very private moment, and to have somebody take a life from another human being is just unacceptable.
Well, and as a result, we are seeing, as I said, protests right across the United States and, of course, in Minneapolis. It's been really interesting to see some of the shop owners, though, some of the restaurant holders, because I've been looking through social media, and they have acknowledged that they have been financially hurt by some of the demonstrations that have happened these past few nights. But they're also encouraging people to not lose their eye on the prize, that really, they say, this is about our financial pain, but more importantly, it's about systemic issues that are embodied in the killing of George Floyd. Talk to us about your thoughts on that.
Well, really what's going on is people are tired, and I've said this multiple times. People are very tired of the killing, of being innocent and still being seen as guilty, and even having somebody else having the power to take your life. People are tired. This has happened multiple times, even in the city of Minneapolis. This happened multiple times. It's not just one time that this happened. So I think the whole country is at unease. Like people have said before, Black people are in a state of emergency because this just keeps happening, and it's unacceptable, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, that is one of the things that we're tracking right now, because, as you say, it's not the first time a black man has been killed while in police custody, not the first time a black woman has been killed in the United States. But do you think this is a galvanizing point right now for the community? Because it seems to be some very widespread reaction, not only within the African-American community, but in the greater community at large, as people are saying no more.
Yes, well, racism, discrimination, prejudice, that does not help anyone. I truly feel if we were able to come together and treat people equally, we would get a lot more things done. But we are so divided, and it's sickening. I don't think anybody should be able to watch that video or even hear about it and be okay. Nobody should be able to do that. And so I think that's why so many people are coming together and saying, hey, this is wrong, because there is absolutely no reason why somebody else, just because of their skin color or where they live or how much money they have, they shouldn't be discriminated against. They shouldn't be killed. None of it is okay. Even it doesn't matter if they're black, white, nobody should be able to take another person's life. Well,
as we say, you are going to take part in another protest tonight. In fact, you're handing out bottles of water and some supplies for protesters. How do you feel on this day, given that we've heard so many people, the Minnesota governor, we've heard from the Minneapolis mayor, even the mayor of St. Paul, essentially speaking out against what they're calling illegitimate protesters versus legitimate protesters, and asking people to stay at home past 8 o'clock. What's your response to that?
I have mixed response with that, because it's not just, I know my community, and I've said this before, I know my community. I have lived here for 21 years, about to be 22 years. And so I know that this is not just people in my community who are doing certain things. When it comes to the fires, we have not had fires been set like on purpose. So I know that's not people in my community. And I feel that is the reason why they're bringing the National Guard in, because it's not just us.
So you believe that there are outside agitators that are coming in and carrying out a lot of the violence?
Absolutely. If you think of this from a business standpoint, when deaths occur, when violence when deaths occur, when violence occurs, when fire occurs, the 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 value decreases. So the cost to purchase some of these buildings are going to decrease. This is a perfect time for investors to come in and take over.
So,
It's perfect.
and in fact, we've heard, perhaps from a very different perspective, but we've heard officials say that essentially it is drowning out the voices of peaceful protest. So what do you want people to take out of this moment? Again, you're going to be protesting again one more time tonight. So what do you
Yes.
want people to be taking out of your action that you'll be taking part in?
I want people to understand that there is power in numbers and there is power in having a voice. And we don't have to match violence with violence. But it is a statement. I cannot say that the looters are wrong. All I can say is that breaking down our own community and tearing it down, that is wrong. But when it comes to violence, you cannot be violent towards us and want us to be super peaceful and prayer like. I don't think that's how this should work. Even people who are saying these protesters are they're violent, they're this, they're that, and trying to be judgmental. Until you understand the rage that we've gone through, I don't think people should be able to speak and to categorize us like that. Because in all honesty, Black Wall Street was bombed as well. So we can't just say that this is unheard of. This has been heard of. We're matching the same violence that we were taught from the majority, and I think that's what's a little shocking to the world right now.
Zae Sellers, thanks for the time.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.
You too. And Zae Sellers is a student in Toronto, but right now back at her home city of Minneapolis, Minnesota.